thing.
Whoa, that would be so sick, dude. I don't think that's the case, but that would be so fire. Dude, that would be awesome. That would be, oh my God. Oh my God. That is like, oh my God.
Last night, in a historic breach of all historical norms, in a move that really does put the Republic on the precipice of serious constitutional disorder, chaos, and disaster, a jury in New York found.
I like that Donald Trump's many different crimes, not even this, but like a shitload of other crimes and corruption that he is engaged in the most incompetent way possible, is not somehow causing this beautiful Democratic Republic to fall apart, but it's actually the prosecution of said crimes and corruption that is putting the Democratic Republic at the precipice of collapse. It's never the guy who's doing it. It's the people going, no, don't do that, actually. That's the problem.
Found unanimously that Donald Trump was guilty of 34 separate felonies, all stemming from hush money payments that were made to Stormy Daniels all the way back in 2016. Now, the legal case is an atrocity. It's a ridiculous, ridiculous case. We're going to go through all the details in a moment. It was a political put-up job by Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, who came into office pledging to get Donald Trump, not pledging to find his criminal behavior that was actually criminal, pledging to get Donald Trump under any circumstances. And that, of course, mirrored the language of Attorney General Letitia James, who was elected to her position in the state of New York on the basis of, quote-unquote, getting Donald Trump. It was a put-up job by the judge, Juan Merchan, who clearly wants Trump behind bars, which is why I believe that he's probably going to sentence him to jail time come July. I do not think.
Whoa, that would be so sick. Dude, I don't think that's the case, but that would be so fire. Dude, that would be awesome. That would be, oh my God. Oh my God. That is like, oh my God. I can't tell if he's like doing this because he just wants to like rile people up for clickbait and shit, or if he legitimately believes it. But oh God, if there was any shot, oh my God. I think Jeff Tiedrich would literally die if that happened. He would bust out the fattest rope that would suck the life force out of him.
Last night,
I think a lot of liberals would unironically die from the collective orgasm that they had. Blanche conceded it's possible that Trump could be behind bars during the convention if the judge imposes jail or prison time and declines to pause the sentence as the appeals process plays out. I don't think it's going to happen. The appeals in and of itself, given the severity of the crime, would mean that like you probably would be fine on bail. You probably wouldn't have to be behind bars. That would be... Oh my God. No, if there's a sentence of incarceration and how it's carried out and when it's carried out, I expect that we would ask for a stay of any sentence while the appellate process works its way through the courts. That's discretionary. That's not something that has to be granted. So that's something that I don't want to think about. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's possible, of course. Yeah, even his fucking lawyer saying it's not going to, it's most likely not going to happen.
Who came into office pledging to think that Chekhov's gun can sit above that mantelpiece for the entirety of the second act here. This was a put-up job by the Biden administration, which has been attempting to brand Donald Trump a criminal and a felon since literally the day that they got into office, and the Democratic Party, which has been attempting to label him everything from a Putin cat's paw to a traitor to the country since 2015. It all culminated yesterday in a jury finding in the most ridiculous possible criminal case that Donald Trump was guilty of 34 felonies. It's an absurd case. According to the Wall Street Journal, Trump was found guilty Thursday by a New York jury on all 34 counts in his hush money case, concluding the first ever criminal trial of a former president. Now voters will render their own judgment as Trump, the presumptive GOP presidential nominee, barrels ahead to the November 5th election, using the trial and other prosecutions he faces as a rallying cry for his supporters. President Trump, for his part, responded to the verdict. He responded precisely the way that you would think that he would, with absolute sheer outrage, as is appropriate. Here was Donald Trump's statement in the immediate aftermath of the verdict.
This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA, and the whole thing, we didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. And I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end, and we'll win.
There's no question that this is political. None whatsoever. The basis of the charges is trash. This is a trash case that was brought in a jurisdiction unfriendly to Donald Trump, with a prosecutor who obviously wanted to make his bones on Donald Trump's back, and a judge who wants to be famous based on convicting Donald Trump. This was, in fact, a put-up job. Todd Blanche, one of Trump's attorneys, he made the point that the timing of this most recent grand jury is quite suspicious. It turns out that it's kind of weird to file a misdemeanor charge, which is really what this was, a misdemeanor business records falsification charge that expired in 2017. In 2023, as Donald Trump was securing the Republican nomination for the presidency. Here is Todd Blanche, one of Trump's attorneys.
I will say that the timing of
Trash, absurd, ridiculous. Sounds like Ben's feelings are getting in the way of facts. Yeah, of course. There's never been a moment where Ben actually gave a shit about facts. When he says facts over feelings, he's saying his feelings are more factual than real facts itself. And therefore, the real facts of the matter that don't correspond to his feelings are not facts at all. It's the underlying, it is basically the underpinning of every Republican argument.
Of this most recent grand jury, meaning the 2023 grand jury that ultimately indicted President Trump, kicked into action less than 2 months after President Trump announced he's running for re-election. And there are coincidences, and then there's coincidences, and I don't think that that's just something that happened.
Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan DA who brought this case, had pledged back in 2021 that he was going to find some rationale for prosecuting Donald Trump. He said, quote, "I'm the candidate in the race who has the experience with Donald Trump. I was the chief deputy in the Attorney General's office. We sued the Trump administration over 100 times for the Muslim travel ban, for family separation at the border, for shenanigans with the census. So I know how to litigate with him. I also led the team that did the Trump Foundation case. So I'm ready to go wherever the facts take me and to inherit that case. I think it'd be hard to argue with the fact that'd be the most important, most high-profile case, and I've seen him up front and seen the lawlessness he could do." And he was then asked by a reporter, "You believe that should happen?" He said, "I believe we have to hold him accountable." Okay, he was pledging to do this in 2021, and then he did it. And then he did it. We'll get to more on this in just 1 second. First, from the start.
Dude, I can't be the only one who's like fucking annoyed with how many ads Ben has. And not only because it's like ridiculous that he has so many ads to begin with, like that there are brands that are willing to work with him, but it just in general, it's like, I'm not going to, obviously I'm doing ethical reacts across the board no matter what, because like I'm responding to pretty much every single thing that he says. This is fair use in general, so I can skip the ads. I don't really give a shit. But also, he has like an insane, every fucking video is just like slap with an ad to it. What is happening?
While this defendant may be unlike any other in American history, we arrived at this trial and ultimately today at this verdict in the same manner as every other case that comes through the courtroom doors, by following the facts and the law and doing so without fear or favor.
That is that's an extraordinary lie, an extraordinary lie. There's never been a case. It's a novel legal theory that was brought to court by Alvin Bragg specifically to get Donald Trump before the election. That's all this was. Everybody knows this. Independents know this. Democrats know this. When Democrats say that all they want is the law followed without fear or favor, it's weird how you're perfectly fine with James Comey letting Hillary Clinton off the hook for obvious criminal conduct in 2016.
Jim Comey literally is responsible more than anything else for Hillary Clinton losing the election. What are you fucking chirping about, my boy?
with the excuse, well, she was running for president. We don't want election interference. And then it turns out that you're totally fine with Donald Trump being prosecuted for absolute trash of charges stemming from activities sexually back in the mid-2000s, and then from a hush money payment made in 2016. Meanwhile, you're apparently perfectly fine with the DOJ letting Joe Biden, the current president of the United States, off the hook, even though he clearly involved himself in criminal conduct in terms of mishandling classified material because he's a doddering old fool, who then goes out, by the way, and rips the prosecutor for mentioning that he's a doddering old fool, and in the process shows himself to be even more of a doddering old fool. You are totally fine, apparently, if you're a Democrat, with the DOJ originally trying to cut such an extraordinary sweetheart deal with the president's son that it was only scuttled when a judge looked at it and said, what the hell is this? That is the only reason that Hunter Biden is being brought up on charges now, is because a judge looked at the original sweetheart deal.
Seems a lot like he's talking about some irrelevant ass bullshit instead of keeping his focus on how this particular case is completely fraudulent. How odd of him to start talking about like, oh, well, the DOJ gave a sweetheart deal to Hunter Biden and also Hillary Clinton and all this other shit. Like, what's happening? Just talk about the issue. Talk about the issue, man. Where is the letter of the law not being evenly applied? Where is it not being fair for Donald Trump? Because you can't turn around and be like, Your Honor, there's murderers around, which is what Donald Trump was saying. Ben is supposed to be this brilliant conservative mind, right? And as a brilliant conservative mind, he could just like very easily rip through the arguments that the prosecution made. Right now, he sounds exactly like the fucking whimpering fools that we heard outside of the court. Ben's argument is particularly laughable when he, along with every Republican pundit and every Republican running for office, are literally like, we should fucking melt anyone who does crime and prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. The logic is literally that Republicans who run on stopping crime, akin to Alvin Bragg running on prosecuting Trump-related crimes, should not actually be doing what they campaign on. Everything you mentioned is not illegal, and if you want to compare sons, look at Don Jr. It's just, it doesn't make any sense to me because, like I said, Don Jr. is not running for president. I mean, not Don Jr., sorry. Hunter Biden is not running for president, so he's just like bringing up Hunter Biden is silly regardless, okay? And not only that, but also in terms of Hillary Clinton's situation, the FBI cooked her fucking campaign harder than any other circumstance when Jim Comey, a couple days before the election, came out with a fucking second letter, an investigation that they concluded and found was no different than the prior investigation in any case. And I say this as someone who despises Hillary Clinton, okay? There's a reason why so many people fucking... there is no reason why so many people love Jim Comey on the liberal side. But it is odd. It is odd that that Ben is not sticking to the actual facts. If they are so easy to diminish, so easy to destroy, you can't just fucking turn around and be like, well, what about all these other instances that are totally irrelevant to the subject matter?
Brought by Merrick Garland's DOJ and said this is so obviously corrupt that there's no way I can greenlight this prosecution deal. As far as the political obviousness of the situation, remember that one of the big prosecutors in this case was a person named Matthew Colangelo. The DNC paid Matthew Colangelo $12,000 in January 2018 for political consulting. He donated to Barack Obama's first presidential campaign in 2008. He was the third-ranking official at President Biden's Justice Department. He then joined Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg's office in December 2022. And just a few months later, they launched this current investigation into Donald Trump. That indictment began in March 2023. So he moved from the Biden DOJ to Alvin Bragg's office. And 3 months later, the indictment...
That's crazy, bro. I can't believe prosecutors switch fucking... switch offices sometimes. They go from like DOJ back to like a district attorney. That's wild. That's wild. Except none of this talks about Donald Trump's 34 different counts. Like, The funniest part about it is that the sane, smart, intelligent conservative assessment on this matter wouldn't just be that, like, to obviously point out how this is political, but to basically say that these charges, albeit true, are not all that significant. Trumped up, if you will. So I don't understand why he doesn't just stick to that, and he has to be like, oh, guys, you don't understand. Brandon is a secret mastermind behind all of this.
It was brought against Donald Trump. And we're supposed to believe there was no coordination, that Joe Biden knew nothing about. This is just the workings of the gears of justice. That's all this is. Meanwhile, the judge, Merchan, obviously a partisan Democrat. He's donated small amounts before to the Biden presidential campaign in 2020, as well as to Act Blue, which is an activist group. His daughter is a Democratic activist as well. The reality is,
what does any of this... Bro, that's crazy. He's like... the judge's daughter is a Democratic Party activist? Okay. Yeah. I guess he's not capable of being an adequate judge.
that she serves as president of Authentic Campaigns, a firm that does digital campaigns.
Yeah, the funniest part about this is that, like, there are plenty of fucking Trump-appointed judges, some of which have ruled against Donald Trump. And it's like, even then, it's like, well, these judges are obviously biased. It's like, who's not biased? You just want someone who will say Trump is innocent. That's the only type of judge I want, okay? It could be an Obama judge. It could be a Biden judge. It could be a fucking Donald Trump judge. And it's like, as long as they are literally sitting there and being like, well, I'm going to be honest, like, he is actually, he is actually guilty here, or we're going to continue with this investigation. Then I was like, whoa, obviously they're biased. Yeah, the only difference between what Ben Shapiro's saying here versus the average nutter that you saw outside of the courthouse with a fucking microphone put on their face is that he seems better put together. He puts a professional face to the mania that has been demonstrated by both Donald Trump and all of his fucking supporters and loyalists alike. There is no difference between this and Fox News. He's just less unhinged seeming. He's just nerdier. He puts a nerdier face on the exact same shit that you hear from Fox News.
Campaign work like online fundraising, and they work with Democratic political candidates. Not only that, she was apparently the director of digital persuasion for now Vice President Kamala Harris's 2020 presidential campaign, according to CNN.
Also, he's making it seem like the judge independently caused this case and manipulated the judges or something. That's not how the court system works. Obviously, this dumb fuck graduated from Harvard Law School, or did he go to UCLA Law and Harvard undergrad? I don't know. I don't care. He went to UCLA and Harvard. He knows that it was fucking 12 jurors. It's not like the judge was like, you're guilty, sir. I've decided it, and that'll be the case. That's not how the American criminal justice system works. He knows that. Why is he not bringing that shit up?
So you have a partisan Democrat judge, a partisan hack prosecutor, and a set of charges that are just garbage. The Wall Street Journal has likened this to a turducken of a case. I've heard other people, including my friend Megyn Kelly, refer to it as Russian nesting dolls. To understand the charges in this case, you have to understand that, effectively speaking, it is an onion of charges, and at the center, there is nothing.
Judge can overturn the jury, but yeah, did the judge do that?
That is all. You actually get to the end of the Russian nesting doll, or the end of the turducken, and it's just a vacuum of space. Let's be real about this. Alvin Bragg brought a misdemeanor charge of falsification of business records that is past the statute of limitations. The only way that he could spin that into a chargeable offense and extend the statute of limitations is to charge it as a felony. The problem is there is no underlying felony. So the underlying felony that he actually ended up charging was a federal felony. State prosecutors do not have jurisdiction to charge federal felonies. Unbelievably enough, the same exact Biden administration that is insisting that states cannot enforce federal law because of federalism have no problem with the Manhattan DA enforcing federal election finance law that has been already investigated, and Trump has not been indicted on anything election related. They apparently are fine with a state DA, a Manhattan DA, going after Donald Trump on a federal election charge. He has no jurisdiction over these issues, none. Andrew McCarthy, who's been writing about this for obviously since the initiation of this mess. He says that payments that were made to Karen McDougal, who is a person that Trump stooped and then paid hush money payments via David Pecker to, or Stormy Daniels, or to a bellman at his building, because there was some sort of false allegation that Donald Trump had fathered a child.
Is Ben unironically doing that he did everything right and they convicted him? Yes, that is what he's doing. And yes, the charges weren't federal charges, and Ben knows that already, so it doesn't fucking matter. Ultimately, Alvin Bragg charged Donald Trump with 34 counts of a New York State charge that is enumerated in a state statute. Further, if Trump truly didn't commit the felony charge that Ben is talking about, then the jury of his peers would not have found him guilty. Exactly. He's just mad about the rule of law. He's mad about law and order. Because right-wingers, and many people, like just reactionaries in general, only want law and order against their enemies, against they perceive as like doing wrong. So when someone that he likes, that he's literally personally campaigned for, remember, Ben Shapiro has done campaign fundraising events for Donald Trump this time around. I saw some people in the chat asking, like, wasn't Ben supposed to be a little bit more reasonable? Like he was the reasonable, level-headed conservative that wasn't super pro-Trump? No. This election cycle, Ben Shapiro has done fundraising events for Donald Trump. Okay? So, no, he is not. He's never really impartial. He just reads the room and recognizes that Trump is the future of the Republican Party, whether he likes it or not, and is a loyal servant and a soldier for the Republican Party, and therefore he will literally do fundraising events for him. He's doing what is good for his career. Exactly.
Child out of wedlock, which wasn't true, but they made a payoff. In legalese, says it McCarthy, these payments were legal consideration for entering into non-disclosure agreements. NDAs are common, lawful, a staple of civil law settlements. Alvin Bragg claims that the NDA payments were illegal because they were essentially campaign contributions that exceeded the federal dollar amount limits. There's a problem with this. NDAs, paying somebody for an NDA, which is common practice. It is every.
I love Ben trying to fucking make this seem like this is a regular NDA for a staffer. Okay? It is not a regular NDA for a staffer. It is a hush money payment to a porn star that he had sex with that he thought, whether it was correct or not, doesn't matter. He thought if the public knows about this, it might hurt my fucking chances of being elected president. That's it. At that point, it is no longer a regular NDA. Okay? If you personally murdered somebody and then tried to pay a fucking hush money payment to a victim, or not a victim, but a witness, that would still be illegal. Okay? And if you did it by way of your lawyer, paying a fucking and hit it as a retainer, it would still literally be under this exact same statute a crime. That's it. Now you might say this is fucking stupid. Okay? This is a fucking stupid thing to like care about this much. And to that, I agree. I don't think it's that big of a deal, right? Probably one of the unique part of this case is it's probably one of the only consensual instances where Donald Trump has had sex as far as we know. The NDA was literally written up by the National fucking Enquirer. What's he talking about? The National Enquirer literally brought Daniels and Cohen together to make the NDA. Not a single part of this would be allowed, which is precisely the reason why the 12 jurors actually said that it was guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, that Trump was guilty beyond a reasonable doubt for 34 counts. Oh, this is stupid. I should be able to legally bribe witnesses to my crimes.
Every settlement basically ends with an NDA. Every single legal settlement, from employment law to contract legal settlement, ends with an NDA and money being paid, whether it's hush money payments like this one, or again, whether it's in any other context. That doesn't make it an election contribution. Bradley Smith was the former FEC chairman, originally appointed to the FEC by Bill Clinton. He wrote, quote, a businessman candidate's intent to protect his public image before an election by settling a lawsuit or other potential legal claim, paying to have old divorce records sealed, settling up contested debts, none of which he has an obligation to pay before or after becoming a candidate, does not make these payments campaign expenditures. If it did, many more politicians than Trump would be in trouble. If the idea is that anything that affects an election is now a campaign expenditure, that would also have consequences the other way. You could literally label your gym workouts campaign expenditures because obviously how you look has an impact on the campaign trail. The idea that anything that has any impact on the election now becomes an election-related expense is totally nuts and unprecedented in American law.
Okay. I don't think it works that way. I don't think it works in the opposite direction. And also beyond that, I do feel like a lot of politicians do play fast and loose with campaign expenditure in general. And you're just saying that the law should be applied evenly, which I'm on board with for the most part. Yeah, like I think that's great. If that's what you want, like, sure. I think it's, maybe I'm crazy, but I think it's fucking ridiculous, like, that you could pay with campaign contributions someone hush money, regardless of what the situation was. It could be a porn star that you had sex with, or it could be any number of different things. Like, I think that that's a ridiculous way to use campaign funds. And if we would have the same level of smoke for others, I would be on board with that. Now, there have been instances where people have been prosecuted under similar situations, like we talked about earlier. The difference was they were able to prove in a court of law that it was actually for other reasons and not not directly for their for potentially harming the election outcomes. Donald Trump, on the other hand, as a consequence of constantly doing crimes in the most open way possible and in the most corrupt and most incompetent way possible, could not do that. The reason why he couldn't do that is because he routinely would say, well, just pay her after the election. Who cares? And then we won't have to pay her at all.
But effectively, the judge allowed Bragg to bring these illegal charges. Not only that, the judge then...
Yeah, that part is actually, like, the role reversal shit is usually a stupid argument. And in this case, it's like, it's not... We don't even need to do it. But it is pretty funny to think about, like, Joe Biden paying a porn star hush money and how Ben Shapiro would react if he was criminally convicted by a jury of his peers for paying a porn star hush money by way of his lawyer, who went to jail, by the way. Like, can you imagine that world where Ben Shapiro would be like, dude, what do you mean kill him? Like, execute him immediately. What are we talking about? Let's not just throw the book at him. Let's throw the book at him so hard that he dies. Like, what are we talking about here? It's not even a fucking... It's not even a point of contention.
Stacked the trial by effectively allowing Alvin Bragg to argue that Trump had already been convicted of some violation of election law, even though he hadn't. So how exactly did he do that? Well, Michael Cohen was brought forward, Trump's former attorney and convicted perjurer. And Cohen...
Once again, Trump's former attorney and convicted perjurer, yes, he was lying for Donald Trump. Just like the other guy, Weiselberg, also was lying for Donald Trump. It seems like Donald Trump pays a lot of people to lie for him, and then they get caught. Now, the difference as to why he's not bringing Weiselberg into the conversation is because Weiselberg is pro-Trump. He was lying for Trump, and he wasn't then turning around and actually throwing Trump under the bus. So that's precisely the reason why he's not talking about Weiselberg, and he's bringing up that Michael Cohen is a convicted perjurer when talking about Michael Cohen. Why? Because Michael Cohen did do perjury and lied for Donald Trump, but then, of course, was a star witness against Donald Trump.
Cohen had already pled guilty to campaign crimes because he thought that was going to allow him to cut a deal with prosecutors to go after Trump.